If you have a dream, chase for it. Simulan mo nang abutin. Make it happen. Work and raise your family in Australia with AMVPS. Make your future bright with AMVPS. Ang migration, education, pangarap ay maabot na. AMVPS, ang kasama mo. AMVPS, 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 AMVPS.
For inquiries, visit our website amvpsolutions.info and Facebook page Aussie Migration and Visa Professional Solutions.
A dream. Everyone has it. Distractions are everywhere, which makes us feel far from our dreams. Now, there is a way to close that gap. With AMVPS, we can take the one less travel by, and that has made all the difference. Whether big or small, our dreams are there to take us to write our future. Be a scholar now. To learn more, visit our website at amvpsolutions.info. Like us on Facebook at Aussie Migration and Visa Professional Solutions.
If you have a dream, chase for it. Simulan mo nang abutin. Make it happen. Work and raise your family in Australia with AMVPS. Make your future bright with AMVPS. Ang migration, education, pangarap ay maabot na. AMVPS, ang kasama mo. AMVPS, 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 AMVPS.
For inquiries, visit our website amvpsolutions.info and Facebook page Aussie Migration and Visa Professional Solutions.
A dream. Everyone has it. Distractions are everywhere, which makes us feel far from our dreams. Now, there is a way to close that gap. With AMVPS, we can take the one less travel by, and that has made all the difference. Whether big or small, our dreams are there to take us to write our future. Be a scholar now. To learn more, visit our website at amvpsolutions.info. Like us on Facebook at Aussie Migration and Visa Professional Solutions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edmund Galvez, and I am the registered migration agent of Aussie Migration Visa Professional Solutions. For today's information session, we will be talking about the 485 visa. Now, there are so many questions about what is the 485 visa and what is its purpose. Only those who recently finished their studies can or may be eligible for the 485 visa. Now, as you know, there are two types of studies that international students enroll. These can be vocational courses or higher education courses. Now, in our discussion today, we will know what are the criterias for each category for vocational graduate students and for the higher education graduate students. Now, I'll share my screen. Now, so as you can see, 485 visa, the temporary graduate visa is for the vocational students, while the post-study visa is for the higher education students, which could be either a bachelor graduate, a master's graduate, or a doctorate graduate. Now, what is the purpose of the 485 visa? Now, the main purpose of the 485 visa is to allow international students to live, study, work after they have finished their studies. So, after finishing at least 2 academic years of studies, the recently graduate international student need not immediately go back to his or her home country because he may be eligible for the 485 visa. The reason why I say may be eligible is because the criteria for the post-study stream and the criteria for the uh, temporary graduate stream is different. So let's discuss first the common requirements. Now, for both vocational graduate and higher education graduate, for them to be eligible for the 485, they must possess all the following common requirements. First, at the time of application, they must be under 50 years of age. When we say under 50, that means 49 years of age. And they must hold an eligible visa, student visa, and they must have held a student visa in the last 6 months and have a recent qualification in a CRICOS registered course. Now, let's proceed with the graduate work stream. Now, graduate work stream is for students who recently graduated with skills and qualifications that are relevant to specific occupation Australia needs. So these are for vocational courses and the duration is for 18 months. Additional requirements would be, number one, have a qualification relevant to an occupation on the skilled occupation list. Second, have applied for a skilled assessment in the nominated occupation. Third, provide evidence of adequate health insurance for all applicants. Fourth, provide evidence that you have applied for AFP check or the Australian Federal Police check. And last would be provide evidence of the required level of English with the application. Now, the reason why not all international students who study vocational course, for them not to be able to apply for this graduate work stream is because only those students who study a course that is linked to an occupation which is in the medium and long-term list. So that's the meaning of have a qualification relevant to an occupation on the skilled occupation list. So again, not all vocational graduate students may be eligible for the graduate work stream 485 visa because only those students who have studied a course that will lead to an occupation on the skilled occupation list or the medium and long-term strategic list. So if you are studying business course, if you are studying leadership and management, these courses do not lead to an occupation that is on the skilled occupation list. What are the courses that are relevant to an occupation on the skilled occupation list? Now, trade courses such as automotive, trade courses such as commercial cookery, certificate for, trade courses, carpentry, painting and decorating. These are just some of the courses that can make the recent graduate apply for the 485 visa under the graduate work stream and also the early childhood course. Now, another important requirement before the recent graduate be eligible to apply for the 485 visa under the graduate work stream is that they must have applied for skills assessment in the nominated occupation. So that means you cannot apply for the 485 visa if you have not applied or submitted or lodged the application for skills assessment. Now, common question here. Should the skills assessment process be finished? The answer will be no. The minimum requirement is that for you to apply and then you provide the receipt number in your 485 graduate work stream application. Now, what are the skills assessing authorities that may be relevant for this requirement? If you have studied early childhood, then the skills assessing authority is ASECWA. If you studied commercial cookery, then the skills assessing authority is Trades and Recognition Australia. I'd like also to mention that the graduate work stream, the 485 visa under the graduate work stream, is following the JRP or the Job Ready program of the department. Now, that is intended for these recent international students to develop their skills. And if they finish their skills assessment, which is done during the effectivity of their 485 visa, then that is equivalent to a positive skills assessment. Now, aside from these two common requirements, the other would be the health insurance. Now, the insurance we are talking here is not the overseas student health cover, but the overseas visitor insurance. There are many insurance providers. The other one would be the police check, the AFP police check. And the other one would be the English test. Now, aside from these requirements, the department also asks for police check overseas. So if you've been to United States on a J1 visa before you applied for a student visa, then you might be required to get police check in United States. And also, if you have been living in the Philippines, then you may be required to get an NBI clearance. Now, let's proceed with the second category. Now, post-study work stream is for international students who have recently graduated with a degree. So, degree could either be a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a doctorate degree. Now, the main difference between the post-study and the graduate work is the duration. The duration of the graduate work stream is only for 18 months, while the duration of the post-study work stream will depend upon the degree that you finish. We will discuss that later. Now, let's continue with the common requirements. Now, similar with the graduate work stream, the requirement for insurance is also applicable for this category. And the AFP police check and also the English requirement, English test requirement. Now, as to the length of visa, as I have mentioned, if you finish a bachelor's degree, the duration of your post-study visa is 2 years. If you are studying master's by coursework, the duration is 2 years. The duration of, if you have studied master's by research is 3 years. And if you have studied a doctoral degree, it is for 4 years. So take note of that. The duration will vary depending on the degree that you have recently finished. Now for master's by coursework, 2 years. Master's by research is 3 years. By the way, in Australia, the duration of the bachelor's is only for 3 years, unlike in the Philippines, which is for 4 years. Now, Australian study requirement. The case officer will look into this criteria because this is very important. The duration of your studies must be at least 2 academic years or 92 weeks study. Now, aside from the duration, your course must also be registered with CRICOS, and you have successfully completed all the course requirements. The study was in English, and the course was completed in Australia in not less than 16 calendar months. And you have held an Australian study visa that allowed you to study. So this is the very important requirement, Australian study requirement. The most important thing that you need to remember here is that you have studied at least 2 academic years, and that can be shown in your COE or in the confirmation of enrollment. Now let's proceed with the English language requirements. Now both the graduate work stream and the post-study stream follow this requirement. Now, the minimum overall score is 6 for IELTS. For PTE, the minimum overall score is at least 50. And for IELTS, minimum score of 5 for each of the 4 parts. Overall of 6 with a minimum score of 5 for each of the 4 parts. Now, what are the 4 parts? These are reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Same with PTE, minimum score, overall minimum of at least 50 with minimum score of 36 for each part. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Now, other requirements is that you must not have had a visa canceled or a previously application refused, and you have no debt to the Australian government. So those are the other requirements. Latest announcement due to COVID-19. Now, because of the pandemic, there are international students who immediately after they finish their studies visit their home country and have not entered Australia because of the sudden closure of the borders. Now, the Department of Home Affairs made a relaxation of the rules, and they had allowed application of temporary graduate visa outside Australia. Before pandemic, the 485 visa cannot be lodged outside Australia, only inside. But because of the pandemic, the Australian government had allowed the lodgement outside Australia of the 485 visa, provided that the applicant have held a student visa in the last 12 months to apply. Now, another main difference between the graduate stream and the post-study stream is that in the post-study stream, you may be eligible for a second 485 visa. Now, the second post-study work stream are for holders of a first temporary graduate visa in the post-study work stream who graduated with a degree from an Australian institution located in the regional area. So it could either be 1 more year or 2 more years depending on the regional location of the educational institution and the regional area that you live in as the holder of your first temporary graduate visa under the post-study work stream. So this only applies for those who have studied in an education provider or an Australian institution located in the regional area. So example would be if you're studying outside Melbourne, outside Brisbane, and outside Sydney, then you may be eligible for a second post-study work stream. Now, what about family members? There are many questions about whether a 485 visa applicant can include his or her dependent. Now, the answer would be yes, you can include, provided that the relationship is genuine and continuing. Now, you can include members of the family unit in your 485 application at the time of application. Family members who apply for this visa must meet health and character requirements as well, just like the main visa applicant. And you can add children to the application before it has been decided. If it has been decided, then you cannot add any other member, but they can apply as a subsequent entrant. Your family can also apply to join you in Australia as a subsequent entrant. So that's what I said. Now, another common question about family members would be the work rights. Now, if the student is studying masters by coursework, the student can only work 20 hours per week or 40 hours per fortnight, while the husband or the wife or the partner can work unlimited hours. If the main student is studying masters by research, now the work rights would be unlimited. And if he has a husband, then the work rights would also be unlimited. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for listening to today's information session, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
If you have a dream, chase for it. Simulan mo na abutin. Make it happen. Go on and study Australia with AMVPS. Let's make your future bright with AMVPS. You got migration, education, hanapin maabot na. AMVPS ang kasama mo. AMVPS, 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 AMVPS.
One of the best feelings in life is having moments with the ones you love, even if you're far away from each other. Despite being 1,000 miles apart, our feelings haven't changed. Being beside you is a wish that I've long desired. With professional help, the long wait is over. Bridge the gap with Aussie Migration and Visa Professional Solutions. You can study, work, or live in Australia. With the help of our experts, you can fix your migration and visa application efficiently. Now, love doesn't have to be distant. Call us now.